Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today, Around Kansas takes a look at the Deines Cultural Center in downtown Russell. Then enjoy the remarkable story of Ichabod Washburn and how that institution became Washburn College and later Washburn University. Next, Ron Wilson wows us with another poem, and we'll end with the ballot for the 2017 Kansas Music Hall of Fame inductees. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. It's Wednesday. Good morning. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And this is Around Kansas. Thanks for joining us this morning. And here we are getting toward the middle of August. You know, there's a song that I really, really love, and I play it on Ren a lot during this time of the year, and that's Lazy Hazy Days of Summer.
Of crummy summer, yeah.
Yeah, Lazy Hazy Days of Summer by Nat King Cole. Roll out those lazy. Yeah, it's a great song. So that's where we are now. It's the time for soda and popcorn and beer and what have you.
I'm telling you, summer's killing me. Of course, no, not so bad. The mornings are still wonderful. You know, the late afternoon, early evening are killers, but the mornings are just glorious. And so that's, you're just happy to be alive then. And you know, summer. I was thinking the other day how kids don't go barefoot anymore. You know, when I was a kid, the soles of my feet were seriously like shoe leather. And you can joke about hillbillies, but it's true. It's true. Well, you know, I had shoes. I chose not to wear shoes, but I did have some. My mother would be very irritated if I lied about having shoes when I was a kid. Flip-flops, though, I lived in flip-flops. You know, that was, if I was wearing shoes, it was just flip-flops. But I could walk over just nearly hot coals, I think. I mean, fields and dirt roads, rocky roads, everything.
It really was that way, yeah. I mean, your feet finally got enough callus that you could walk over about anything.
About anything.
Of course, that's it. I mean, my generation, it was before, air conditioning was kind of starting. But the thing is during the summertime, you got up in the morning, said, see ya,
right.
And you went out and jumped on your bike, and you usually had a ball glove on the handlebars, and you took off. And then you played all day, and nobody really worried about it. You know, you had friends in the neighborhood, and you'd go to the schoolyard and play baseball, play work up and the whole thing. And then in the evening, you'd play kick the can and hide and go seek, and then the street lights would come on, and then everybody's parents had a different way to call us home. And we'd all go home, and the next day do it again.
Well, I grew up out in the country, so they weren't like kids, you know, just everywhere. Cousins, you know, would come over sometimes. So our playhouses were in the woods, mainly in the barns or in the woods, and we'd head for the woods and maybe walk down to the creek that was a pretty good ways away in the woods. But like you said, there were no cell phones. And people just knew, you know, we'd be home when we got hungry or whatever, you know.
And you ate what was there.
You ate what was there. And then laying out at night looking at the stars. I can remember laying out in the yard or in the fields of like broom straw and just looking at the stars at night as a kid. And those were good times.
Anyway, hey, we really do have some real stories today, not just us yakking, so.
Much as you loved it. Yeah, we'll be back with some great stuff. Stay with us.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community.
Experience the life of the mountain man, American Indian, trappers, and traders at the annual Bald Eagle Rendezvous, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back again. So you've been traveling and you went to a cultural center, so I'm going to let you talk about it.
Yes, I needed some culture. Obviously, the little girl that grew up going barefoot, needed some culture. The Deines Cultural Center in Russell. Have you been there, Frank?
No.
I had not either, I'm embarrassed to say, until the other day. And Charlie and Pat and Carson Norton, the talented Norton family, and their daughter Tanya, had an art exhibit, and Charlie did the bronze Buffalo Bill that, of course, is one of my favorite statues in the world at Oakley. He's just done some amazing stuff, and his wife, Pat, is an incredibly talented artist, as is their son, Carson, and their daughter, Tanya, works with fabrics and is a potter, and Pat is also a potter. They're just amazing. So we went to see that exhibit, and I think they've already taken that exhibit down, but there's always something going on there. They have different exhibits throughout the year, and Russell is a lovely town, not only home to Bob Dole and Arlen Specter, for which it's famous, but lots of other cool things going on in Russell as well. Downtown Russell has interesting antique stores, specialty shops, the usual insurance and business offices mingled with cafes. It is a lively downtown, no doubt made more so by the presence of the Deines Cultural Center, which hosts a variety of events throughout the year, as well as being the permanent home of the namesake's artworks. All of the wood engravings done by E. Hubert Deines, as well as various works he collected during his lifetime, have a home here. His artwork is shown on a rotating basis at the center. According to the center, E. Hubert Deines was born in a rural section of central Kansas, near Russell. Even at a preschool age, he was enthusiastically making drawings of things imaginary or observed in a rustic scene. Later, after the usual courses, he attended the Kansas City Art Institute and School of Design at Kansas City, Missouri. This art study was interrupted by military service in World War I. After serving overseas with the 109th Engineers of the 34th Division, he spent some time in France. Under a special government arrangement for qualified servicemen, Deines studied at the famous Julian Academy in Paris. Upon returning to the States, he held a position for 12 years on the art staff of a metropolitan daily newspaper. Following newspaper work, he established himself in a studio in the old historic Westport district of Kansas City, Missouri, where he did book and magazine work that required both typographical knowledge and artistic execution. During these commercial assignments, a long-desired ambition was also undertaken, to enter the field of fine arts. Printmaking had always been his underlying goal, and after many experiments in various media, wood engraving became his principal medium. Many rewards came in the form of fine recognition and pleasant associations. Twice in 1955 and again in 1961, he was awarded fellowship grants at the Huntington Hartford Foundation in Pacific Palisades, California. Early in his career, along with 2 artists of national reputation, he was invited to act as a member of a regional jury to select graphic art for the World's Fair held in New York in 1939. Deines exhibited widely in this country and occasionally abroad.
Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at two sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. And here we are again. So
proud Ichabod sitting here. And when I came to Kansas many moons ago, of course, I was a student at Washburn. I can't say enough good things about Washburn University. And you know I love graves, so at one point I spoke in Worcester, Massachusetts, and went to the grave.
Worcester.
Worcester, or something like that. I can't quite.
Worcester, no, it's Worcester.
I can't quite say it the way they say it, but I went to the wire factory. Went to the wire factory that Ichabod Washburn owned. That's converted into shops and stuff now, and visited Ichabod Washburn's grave.
Yep.
And now Ichabod Washburn has his very own statue, and it's not the Ichabod that is the Washburn mascot, but the actual man, Ichabod Washburn, who has an incredible story that Frank's going to share
and
with us.
there's a statue, of course. Downtown Topeka has been in revitalization. There's several notable person statues, and one of them is Ichabod Washburn. And in the story, we talk about that he gave $25,000 to the university. Now, when he did that, that was probably worth about $500,000. So it was a substantial gift to keep what was then Lincoln University going. So anyway.
A big deal. So let's take a look at the life of Ichabod Washburn.
He never came to Kansas. He never set foot on the university campus that bears his name. So, how did a small college in Kansas come to be named for an industrialist from New England? Founded by the Congregationalist Church, Lincoln College opened its doors to students in 1866, offering free tuition to veterans of the Union Army and to the children of federal soldiers killed in action. It admitted men, women, and blacks. The college was struggling. Horatio Q. Butterfield, a professor and lead fundraiser, went to Worcester, Massachusetts to seek help. Washburn, a church deacon, pledged $25,000 to the college. The following month, the one-building institution was renamed Washburn College at Butterfield's recommendation in recognition of the pledge. Ichabod's story is as remarkable as the school he supported. According to the university's website, Washburn worked his way from indentured apprentice to captain of industry. The businessman was also a fervent abolitionist and philanthropist who believed in the rights of all people to an education. Washburn was sent before the age of 9 to learn leather harness making because his widowed mother could not provide for him. He later became an apprentice blacksmith and learned machinery. By the time he was 33 in 1831, Washburn had developed a machine and technique that made wire stronger and easier to produce, which ultimately led to his fortune. His innovations in wire led some to call him the father of the industry. His company, Washburn and Moen Wire Works, named for Ichabod and his son-in-law and partner Philip Moen, was the largest wire producer in the world for a time. It was the primary domestic producer of piano wire and crinoline wire, which became an affordable alternative to whalebone in the popular hoop skirts of the 1850s and 60s. Washburn and Moen produced tons of telegraph wire, and after Washburn's death, the company secured a patent for and mass-produced barbed wire, which fenced the homesteads of the American West. Washburn died December 30th, 1868, after complications of a stroke. Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest fort in the West.
Bill Rischel here in North Platte told me about Kansas regenerative medicine, and after talking to Dr. Pope, we did a lot of reading and researching, looking on the internet about it. I guess the thing that impressed me is that he told me, he said, if we don't think it's going to help you, we're not going to do it. I'm a former athlete, played college basketball, had some severe trauma on the right ankle. This brace is what I had to wear all the time. Now I don't wear this during the day. That's a real improvement for me. Encourage anybody that's interested to go down and do a consultation with them.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Farming is a gamble. A farmer puts a crop into the ground, a rancher raises a calf, not knowing what kind of weather conditions, market conditions, or other factors could affect it in the end. So farming is a gamble, just like Las Vegas. This is a poem I wrote titled Gambling Man. Did you hear about the guy who went on an amazing trip and hit it rich, winning money at an amazing clip? I hear stories of those high-rolling gambling bigwigs who roll the dice in Vegas and really hit it big. But I'm way too conservative or risk-averse, they say, to take a chance on losing all my money in this way. Yet maybe the biggest gamblers aren't in Vegas after all, but rather in the country at agriculture's call. That's where a farmer takes the gamble to plant a crop of wheat, never knowing if it will survive the drought or freeze or heat. And just as Lady Luck can snatch a gambler's money when they win it, a hailstorm can claim a Kansas wheat crop in a minute. A mother cow takes a year to breed and feed and thrive, but that whole year income's lost if the baby calf does not survive. The market shows the farmer the value of his crops, but it's a gamble to sell before the market drops. So maybe the biggest gamblers aren't the ones with Vegas claims, but rather the farmers and ranchers out here on the Kansas plains. I think I'll take the risks I know with crops and with cattle, instead of trying to beat casino odds in some Las Vegas battle. Did you hear about my friend whose Vegas trip caused such a fuss? He drove there in a $20,000 car and came back in a $100,000 bus. Happy trails.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. And again, here we are. On around Kansas.
One of these days you're going to come back and we're not going to be here. You know, we're going to be out getting a cup of coffee or
Either
slushy.
that or we'll be speechless and just be sitting here. We're just going to watch you someday.
Exactly.
That'll be fun.
One of my friends who lives in France commented on my Facebook page the other day. She was watching me on TV. It was a documentary that I was in on Jesse James, and it was showing in France. And I'm like, wow, that is. She said, it's so good to see you. And I said, well, it was good to see you too.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, well, that's the nice thing too, because not only are we on broadcast TV and then on cable around the state, but we do have a website, and so people really all around the world can watch the show. And that's really what we kind of want, because part of the mission of Around Kansas is to get people that are going to be traveling, stop in Kansas and say, hey, there's some great stuff to go see.
Really cool people, really cool stuff, and as we've talked before, a lot of talent. And so, speaking of talent, the Kansas Music Hall of Fame ballots are up and available now for voting. You can become a member of the Kansas Music Hall of Fame by visiting their website and paying the nominal fee to vote for the band that you think deserves inclusion into the Kansas Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Bill Lee, the late Bill Lee, pretty much founded that, and I was fortunate to work with Bill at KLWN in Lawrence here years ago.
Amazing man.
Yes.
Amazing man. We owe him a wonderful debt of gratitude.
So.
Alan Blasco, president of the Kansas Music Hall of Fame, has announced the ballot for the 2017 inductees. Members of the Kansas Music Hall of Fame and those who have been inducted are eligible to vote. You may join the Kansas Music Hall of Fame by visiting the website. The Kansas Music Hall of Fame was founded to recognize the contributions of Kansas musicians and those in the music industry. Prior inductees include the band Kansas, Martina McBride, Melissa Etheridge, Dwayne Bailey of Bob Seger and Chicago fame, Count Basie, Big Joe Turner, and Mike Finnegan. Find the Kansas Music Hall of Fame on Facebook, too, and join today to make sure your favorite band is inducted next spring. Ballots are due by midnight, October 1st. The induction and concert will be held at Liberty Hall in Lawrence on March 4th, 2017. The 2017 nominees are Alfred Packer Memorial String Band, Lawrence; Bill Bergman, Kansas City; Dana Cooper, Kansas City; Crosswind, Manhattan; Jim Dale, Topeka; Dixie Cadillacs, Kansas City; Carib, Lawrence; Elk River Biscuit and Gravy Band, Emporia; Embarrassment, Wichita; the Euphoria String Band, Lawrence; Easy Pieces, Topeka; Get Smart, Lawrence and Chicago; Bill Glenn, Wichita; Freedy Johnston, Kinsley; Magic Kitchen, Pittsburgh; Ida Macbeth, Kansas City; Julia Lee, Kansas City; Kevin Mahogany, Kansas City; Samuel Ramey, Colby; The Scamps, Kansas City; The Secrets, Kansas City; The Shyster Mountain Gang, Topeka; The Smart Brothers Band, Wichita; Stone Wall, Kansas City; Tony Tebow, Fort Scott; The Thingies, Topeka; Upside Dawn, Lawrence, and Kelly Works, Junction City.
As usual, we're out of time, so I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
Around
Kansas.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to Oz, under the rainbow. This is
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best part of Dorothy's